Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be Shang-Chi, the Legend of the Ten Rings. Let's get into it. Subscribe to the channel, like the video before we get started. Now you have Simu plays as Shang-Chi, and Awkwafina plays as Katie. Those are the two main characters. And let's get into the story. So the movie starts off with Chong-Li as a baby being born. His mom is talking to him, and you see that the dad, Mandalorian, already had the rings, and he was already doing mischief with the rings. And then he stumbled upon the mom, and the mom, she had the spirit of the dragon in her, and with that spirit of the dragon gave her powers, and she was able to defeat him, but they end up falling in love. So she got him to, he had already lived many years before he came into her, so her village of people would not accept him. So to move on, she convinced him to depart from the rings, and he convinced her to leave her powers with her family back home. So they moved on, and they lived life, had 2 kids, and one day, with all the things he did in his past came back to haunt him, and some men found out where they lived at and stormed the castle. Now, you find out this later on in the story, but it just tells you the brief part in the about him as a little baby, and then it goes to present day. And so the bright spot of this, well, I don't mean bright spot, the comedic relief of the whole film is Katie, played by Awkwafina, and she did great. She kept it humorous the whole time. I never seen her in another movie before, so I gotta look and do some homework and see what else she played in, but she was great in this movie. So nevertheless, he came into Katie's life around in their teenage years, and she stuck up for him, and they've been friends ever since. She got an honors degree from Berkeley, and he can speak 4 different languages, but they're both basically underachieving in life. They work at the luxury hotel, parking cars and stuff like that. So both her family, Katie's family, is basically telling her, you wasted your talents. The grandmom is looking at him like, when you gonna marry her? And he's like, we just friends. So he gets a letter in the mail, and it's from his sister. He blows it off. So one day, him and Katie, they go out, supposed to do the responsible thing and get back to work, because they got work in the early shift tomorrow. Instead, they go out and partying and karaoke. So that was the funny moment. That comes back in full circle at the end of the movie. So next day, they're on the bus, and when he was younger, his mom gave him this emerald to wear and told him that he'll always be able to find his way home. So while they're on the bus, this guy comes up to him and pretty much like, hey, I want that emerald. He like, no, you're not. So Katie's like, can't you see he can't fight, So Katie doesn't know his history. So he instantly get into form, and then he start whooping up on these dudes, and she's like, whoa, who are you? She's like, because her friend never demonstrated none of that. So, this is the big scene that you see on the trailer with them on the bus. So he's fighting, kicking tail. This other guy has a knife, and his metal knife that shoots out of his arm. So that cuts through steel. So she is all entertained by her friend that she know as Shawn. She don't know his real name is Shang-Chi. So that whole scene in the bus, that was action packed. Then after that, she like, yo, dude, you gotta tell me what you are. So she's like, I never asked your past, you know, I just let that be you. And so he tells her his past and his story. And pretty much he's like, they're coming after my sister. And she's like, wait a minute, you got a sister? And so she pretty much said like, well, I'm coming with you. You tell me the rest on the plane. And so he like, nah, you gotta stay here. She like, no, give it up, Shawn. And so he tells her on the plane, basically his real name ain't Shawn, it's Shang-Chi. So they get an address to where he was supposed to meet his sister at. And so instantly when they get there, you see John, who's basically the bookie of the place. And he's pretty much handles all the betting of the fights and stuff like that. So someone was recording Shang-Chi while he was fighting on the bus, and pretty much he went viral. So it's cool how they added that all into the movie, like the whole modernized social media and everything like that. So they're over in the other country, and where you see Abomination at, it made it look like Shang-Chi was going to fight Abomination, but it wasn't. Who ended up fighting Shang-Chi is Wong from Doctor Strange series. So he's fighting Abomination, and he used those secret powers with the circle realm things and made Abomination knock himself out. And when Abomination came to, he pretty much told Abomination, you gotta work on your punches, and opened up a portal, and Abomination walked through. I mean, Wong walked through, and Abomination walked in after him. They disappeared. Meanwhile, they told Shang-Chi he got to fight. And when he look at who his opponent is, it's his sister. And so she's pissed with him because when he was 14, the dad sent him on a mission to assassinate the man who killed their mom. And he never came back. He told her he'd be back 3 days, and she resented him for that. So that's why she was mad at him to fight him. But what ended up happening, the dad is the one who summons them both to come there because they wanted her emerald piece too. And so the dad's army came there at her this fighting arena that he asked her, his sister, pretty much, you know, you run this spot, and she said, I own it. So it was her spot that she built. So the dad's army came in, they were fighting, they got to fight, the brother and sister helped each other out. Of course, Katie got her comedic roles. The dad basically came in, told him calm down, and we're going home. So after they went home, the dad pretty much told him the mom's been talking to him, and where the mom is from is called Talon. And it's a secret portal that opens up at certain times that you can only go in that time. And dad was pretty much saying, we need to go there and help your mom. Her people is keeping her hostage. So the brother pretty much like, man, you tripping. And so the dad pretty much showed him that he wasn't. He took the 2 emeralds that they both had pitted in this dragon, and what it did was it showed through water the passage to the country Talon where the mom is from. And so once it did that, they kind of believed, but then said, there's no way that you could be talking to mom. She's passed away. And so he's like, nah. So when Shang-Chi going against the dad, the dad told him lock him and his sister up. So he locks his sister up. And when he locks his sister up, they end up, Trevor from Iron Man 3 that played as the Mandalorian, he shows up where they was going to kill him, and the real Mandalorian broke him out, and he was about to kill him, but then he put on a performance, and he pretty much is a gesture now for the Mandalorian folks. So he has this little spirit. The mom, where she's from, she always spoke about they got mystical creatures, and So this mystical creature has been creeping around the whole tunnels of the dad's castle, and it pretty much knows the path to get the talent, and it pretty much said, I can show y'all how to get there, because he wants to get home himself. And so they break out of the dad's place, and pretty much the dad was like, they'll return home. He doesn't know they're going to Talon. He just think they disappearing. So they get to Talon. Of course, the mystical creature shows them how to get there. When they get to Talon, they see their mom's sister, their aunt, and they, greet each other, and she breaks it down. Pretty much the rings that the dad has is strong and powerful. The wall that's in Talon is a big creature that's been capped there for years, and the power of the rings can release the big creature. And so the dad thinks it's the mom calling him, but it's really the creature. So the dad is building up his army to come there, and they pretty much telling him, y'all need to prepare. So the aunt is ready. Katie's there. She's still doing her comedic, humorous lines and stuff like that. So what ended up happening, they're all training, and then the aunt is training with the Shang-Chi, telling them, you need to tap in, stop holding back. You need to tap into basically what your mom taught you. You have a part of your dad in you, and you have a part of your mom in you. And like the mom was able to beat the dad, even though he had the 10 rings, because she had the power of the dragon in her. And the mom told him when he was younger, pretty much, that he just can't hold back and he has to embrace it. And so the aunt pretty much made him and his sister like some super suits made out of the scallions of dragons, which was his suit. That's what you see with him in a red suit. They got Katie learning how to shoot a bow and arrow. She becomes a key role at the end or whatever. So it finally breaks down. The dad comes, they get to fighting, and the demon spirit monster behind the wall broke loose because his dad got to it and was letting it loose. And then him and Shang-Chi started to fight. And then once the demon came out, it wanted to suck the dad up, take his soul. So every time the demon monster gets a soul, it gets stronger. And so the dad released he early in the fight, he knocked Shang-Chi in the water, and Shang-Chi like drowned, but the spirit of the dragon was in the water and showed up and looked at Shang-Chi and basically brought him back to reality. And then the dragon popped up with Shang-Chi on it or whatever. So fast forward back to the fight, the dad's soul was getting sucked out, and he released the rings to Shang-Chi. And so all of them together end up battling together to kill the main monster at the end. And after that, Shang-Chi went back to the U.S. The sister was supposed to remain there to shut down the whole dad's operation and everything. So it's 2 post-credit scenes. The first post-credit scene is right when it ends, where Shang-Chi and Katie is at dinner with their friends, telling them all the story, and the friends don't believe him. Wong pops up with a portal and say, hey, is Shang-Chi here? He's right here. So now the friends believe him that they wasn't BSing. So they went into the realm that portal that Wong created. And so when they in the realm, they talked to Bruce Banner and Captain Marvel, and pretty much welcomed them to the team, and telling them they don't understand they don't understand yet the powers of the rings. They know they're real ancient, but they don't understand it too much. And so Wong pretty much told them, like, hey, it's been a long day. Y'all need to just go home, go to sleep. And they're like, yeah, we should. And then they said, and then they showed them Wong, Katie, and Shang-Chi doing karaoke, getting drunk. And then Wong always like to have a good time, so that was cool at the end. And the second post-credit scene was where the sister was supposed to be shutting down the dad's operation, she pretty much took over. And instead of having, when she grew up, they didn't let the women train with the men. So she had to teach herself behind the scene. So now, with her army, she's having them train men and women. So, but you don't know, the way she got a dark side to her. So she could be a potential foe in the future. But pretty much that was the end. That was the end of the movie. Good movie. Subscribe and like to the channel. On my 4-star rating system, I'm gonna give this movie. There's no flaws in this movie, man. This could be the 4 out of 4. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 4 stars. It was action packed. People that's into the kung fu, karate, and all that stuff, it didn't miss a beat. The storyline was good, touched all bases. All the trailers that you've been seeing building up to it, it met everything. So I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 4. The lowest I could see somebody giving this is a 3.5 out of 4, but 4 out of 4 is definitely. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.